Great, so thanks for joining us. I'm going to show you how to create an interactive digital narrative using Twine. So first, go to your participant folder and double-click on the alias for the Twine application to open it up. And what you'll see here is the story view. Right now I have one story in my story view, and I can open that story by double-clicking on it. And here I have a story with 3 nodes, a start, one room, and a second room. I'm just going to play through the story right now by pressing the play button. You're in a dark dungeon. There's a red door to the north, and there's a blue door to the west. And in the story, I give my player 2 choices. I would like to go to the north or the west. If I click on the north button, you can see we can roll over. It changes colors so that we know that it's a choice. I click on north and I get the second node of my story. Unfortunately, you chose the wrong door. You're into a room filled with snakes and you're eaten alive. Sorry to hear the news. The end. Would you like to play again? I get another choice button down here. The story starts over. Now I can pick the room to the west, and I get an alternate ending to my story. Congratulations, you made the correct choice. The room is filled with treasure and riches. Bask in the warmth of your newfound wealth. The end. And I can go and play this very short story again and again. If I want to close out of the story, I just click on the red X on the window. And let's explore one of these story nodes. So I'm going to go double-click, or you can press the Edit button over here to make changes into a particular story node. You can see the text up here that I wrote for the player to read, and then the 2 choices are listed below. So all the commands you need to put a choice button into your narrative are right here. On the left-hand side, we have the word north, and that's the word that the player is going to see. On the right, we have the name of the room or the card that the player will be directed to if they select this button. The whole thing is surrounded in double brackets, and there's a vertical bar separating the left and the right sides. You can find that vertical bar on your keyboard. It's usually above the backslash. But let's create a third alternate ending. And we can do that a couple of ways, either by creating a new card, by adding a new passage, or adding a new choice in a card that already exists. Let's just add a passage first, and we're going to call this... double click on it. We're going to call it the bear room. And the text will read, "Oh no, you entered a room with a large growling bear in it. What do you do?" Choice 1, I want to leave, or fight the bear. So here we've just put in some text in anticipation of our choice, and what I'm going to do is surround that in double brackets, put in a vertical bar, and then when they leave, we're going to bring them back to the room from which we're going to have them, which they started, and we'll make that the start room. And then we're going to give them another chance, another choice here where they fight the bear. So they fight the bear. That's the text, and I'm going to be... We'll make a pun. We'll call the room Grisly Death. And I'm going to create 2 rooms after this card. And I'll notice when I close this, I get 2 rooms that are created. Now these are a little bit awkward here because they're placed odd. I can just scroll and drag these around, and we can see the succession here. So if they choose to go to the bear room, from the bear room, if they choose to leave, they go back to the room they came from. But if they choose to fight the bear, they go to Grisly Death. So we don't need to edit the start card, but let's double click on the Grisly Death card to put an ending to this. Oh no, you chose poorly. You are eaten alive with a side of mashed potatoes. Did I spell that wrong? Mashed potatoes. All right. The end, and then give your player a choice to play again. And if they do, it goes back to the start menu. Okay, so what you have here is everything you need to play that, to make that story. And you'll notice that, you know, you can, if things get confusing, you can sort of drag these things around so you can make sense of your narrative, and you can play test the whole thing. Now, if I go through and I go to the north, I won't die. If I go to the west, I die. Oh, I forgot one thing. We need to put an additional room here for the start. So I'm going to edit my start. I'd like to go, I would like to go east. And there's a door to the north. There's a red door to the north. There is a green door to the east. And there is a blue door to the west. All right, so east. And that's going to bring us to our bear room. All right, now if we press play, we can go start. We're going to go to the east. Oh no, we entered a room with large growling bear. What do? We fight the bear. Oh, bad choice. We die. Okay, play again. Anyway, that's the basics of a digital narrative. Now, when you, if you want to leave and go to the main menu, you can either just press the home key. That's probably the easiest thing to do. And let's say you want to make a second version of this story. Well, you don't have to start all over again. You can just click on this little settings wheel and then duplicate your story and give it a name like Interactive Imaging Version 2. And when you duplicate, you'll have a copy of your story and you can make corrections on that. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel or you know, accidentally delete anything by overwriting it or making corrections that you can't retrieve. Anyway, thanks and have fun.